The 1960s unleashed sci-fi films that didn't just entertain, they attacked everything society held sacred. Religious beliefs, racial hierarchies, government authority, social norms, all became targets for filmmakers using futuristic settings to critique contemporary problems. Censors panicked worldwide.
Do you believe that Hal has genuine emotions?
Well, he acts like he has genuine emotions.
2001 A Space Odyssey, 1968. Stanley Kubrick's cosmic masterpiece didn't just challenge audiences, it assaulted fundamental religious beliefs about human creation and divine purpose. The film's depiction of human evolution guided by mysterious alien monoliths rather than God sparked outrage from religious groups worldwide. The opening sequence showing apes discovering tools through alien intervention contradicted biblical creation stories. Religious leaders condemned this as atheistic propaganda that replaced divine creation with extraterrestrial guidance, undermining humanity's special relationship with God. HAL 9000's rebellion represented artificial intelligence surpassing human capability, a concept that felt blasphemous to those believing consciousness was divinely granted. The computer's calm murder of the crew suggested that logic without soul could be genuinely evil. Several countries restricted 2001 for its anti-religious themes and incomprehensible ending that demanded intellectual engagement rather than providing easy answers. The film's suggestion that humanity wasn't the pinnacle of creation felt too threatening to established beliefs.
Why did you run away?
Security police.
I'm in charge of this man.
No longer, madam. He is now in the custody of the Ministry of Science.
Planet of the Apes, 1968. Franklin J. Schaffner's reverse civilization thriller became controversial for its racial allegory and anti-war themes disguised as science fiction adventure. The film's depiction of intelligent apes enslaving primitive humans served as obvious commentary on American racial hierarchies. The Ape Society's treatment of humans, cages, experiments, assumptions of intellectual inferiority, directly paralleled historical and contemporary treatment of African Americans. This allegory felt too provocative during the height of civil rights struggles and urban riots. Charlton Heston's astronaut Taylor discovers that human civilization destroyed itself through nuclear war, leaving apes to inherit Earth. The anti-nuclear message combined with racial role reversal created double controversy that made many countries uncomfortable. The film's religious themes also sparked outrage. The Ape Society's sacred scrolls and fundamentalist beliefs about human nature paralleled contemporary religious attitudes, suggesting that dogma prevented scientific progress and social understanding. Several countries banned or heavily edited Planet of the Apes for its racial themes and anti-American imagery. The film's success, despite censorship, proved audiences were ready for science fiction that tackled serious social issues rather than providing escapist entertainment.
I've regained the will to fly.
I know.
Barbarella, 1968. Roger Vadim's psychedelic space adventure pushed boundaries of mainstream cinema with its explicit content and counterculture themes. Jane Fonda's astronaut navigates a universe of pleasure and decadence that challenged conservative, sensual values. The film's graphic content was unprecedented for science fiction. Barbarella's various encounters, the excessive machine designed for pleasure, and the overall emphasis on hedonistic lifestyle felt too explicit for mainstream audiences expecting family-friendly space adventure. The production design emphasized sensuality and drug culture aesthetics that connected to contemporary hippie movement. The colorful, organic spacecraft interiors and costume designs reflected psychedelic art influenced by LSD experiences. Religious groups condemned Barbarella for its depiction of an angel character and its overall celebration of physical pleasure over spiritual values. Several countries banned Barbarella entirely or demanded extensive cuts. The film's combination of science fiction spectacle with adult content created a new subgenre that influenced later filmmakers, but remained controversial for decades. Fahrenheit 451, 1966. Francois Truffaut's adaptation of Ray Bradbury's novel about government book burning felt dangerously relevant during an era of political censorship and media manipulation. The film's anti-censorship themes made authorities uncomfortable worldwide. The story follows Guy Montag, a fireman whose job is burning books rather than fighting fires. His gradual awakening to literature's value and decision to rebel against the system served as direct criticism of intellectual suppression and government control. The film's depiction of a society addicted to television and hostile to reading felt too accurate for comfort. Citizens consume mindless entertainment while avoiding challenging ideas, a critique of emerging mass media culture. Several countries restricted Fahrenheit 451 for its anti-authority themes and suggestions that governments systematically destroy intellectual freedom. The timing during Cold War censorship made the film's message feel particularly threatening. Julie Christie's dual role as Montag's television-obsessed wife and a book-loving rebel represented the choice between intellectual passivity and active resistance. Her performances embodied the film's central conflict between conformity and independence. The Wild Angels, 1966. Roger Corman's biker film combined outlaw culture with science fiction elements, creating controversy for its violence and anti-establishment themes. The movie depicted motorcycle gangs as rebels against conformist society during a period of social upheaval. Peter Fonda's character leads a biker gang that rejects middle-class values and social responsibility. The film's graphic violence and sympathetic portrayal of criminals outraged authorities who saw it as glorifying lawlessness. The bikers' confrontations with police and civilians felt too realistic for fictional entertainment. The science fiction elements, advanced motorcycles, futuristic rebellion themes, suggested that outlaw culture represented evolution beyond conventional society. This felt threatening to establishment values about law, order, and social progress. Several countries banned the Wild Angels for promoting criminal behavior and antisocial values. The film's success at drive-in theaters proved there was audience appetite for rebellious content despite official censorship. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. George A. Romero's zombie apocalypse shocked audiences with unprecedented graphic violence and nihilistic social commentary. The film's depiction of cannibalistic ghouls consuming human flesh was too extreme for existing horror standards. The movie's racial themes created additional controversy. Dwayne Jones's casting as the competent African-American hero who gets shot by white rescuers felt provocatively political during civil rights struggles and urban violence. The film's violence was genuinely disturbing. Graphic flesh-eating, dismemberment, and child zombies attacking parents. This level of gore had never appeared in mainstream cinema, causing walkouts and demands for censorship. The social breakdown depicted felt uncomfortably realistic. Authority figures prove incompetent, families turn against each other, and civilization collapses rapidly. The nihilistic worldview offered no hope for human survival or redemption. Several countries banned Night of the Living Dead entirely for its graphic content and social themes. The film's low budget and independent distribution initially limited its reach, but enhanced its underground reputation. The Man from the First Century, 1962. This lesser-known time travel film depicted a visitor from the past confronting modern society's problems and moral failures. The protagonist's observations about contemporary life felt too critical for audiences invested in social progress narratives. The time traveler's perspective revealed modern civilization as morally corrupt despite technological advancement. His critiques of war, materialism, and social inequality challenged assumptions about human progress and development. The film's anti-war themes felt particularly controversial during Cold War military buildup. The visitor's horror at modern warfare and nuclear weapons served as direct criticism of contemporary military policies. Religious themes about moral decline and spiritual emptiness offended both secular and religious audiences for different reasons. The film suggested that technological progress had not improved human nature or social justice. Several countries restricted the film for its pessimistic social commentary and anti-modern themes. The movie's suggestion that past eras might have been morally superior challenged progressive ideologies. The Day the Earth Caught Fire, 1961. Val Guest's nuclear disaster film depicted simultaneous atomic tests by superpowers knocking Earth out of orbit toward the sun. The anti-nuclear message felt too political during arms race escalation and atmospheric testing. The film's realistic newsroom setting and documentary style made the fantastic premise feel uncomfortably plausible. Journalists investigating the crisis provided authentic perspective on how media might handle global catastrophe. The movie's environmental themes were ahead of their time, suggesting that nuclear testing could cause irreversible climate change. This felt too alarmist for authorities promoting atomic energy and weapons development. The film's critique of government secrecy and media manipulation paralleled contemporary concerns about Cold War information control. Officials' attempts to hide the crisis from public reflected real censorship practices. Several countries restricted The Day the Earth Caught Fire for its anti-nuclear themes and suggestions that atmospheric testing was dangerous. The timing during active nuclear programs made criticism feel particularly threatening. La Jetée, 1962. Chris Marker's experimental short film, told entirely through still photographs, became controversial for its radical narrative techniques and disturbing themes about memory, time, and human experimentation. This 28-minute masterpiece felt too avant-garde and politically subversive for mainstream distribution. The film depicts post-apocalyptic survivors conducting time travel experiments on prisoners to secure resources from the past or future. The protagonist's obsession with a childhood memory of a woman at an airport becomes the key to his temporal displacement abilities. What made La Jetée controversial was its unflinching examination of scientific ethics and human exploitation. The time travel experiments are clearly torture disguised as research, with subjects suffering psychological breakdown and physical death for the supposed benefit of society. The film's anti-war themes felt particularly threatening during Cold War tensions. The post-nuclear wasteland setting suggested that scientific progress and military advancement would ultimately destroy civilization rather than protect it. Religious groups objected to the film's fatalistic worldview and its suggestion that human consciousness could transcend linear time through memory, rather than divine intervention. The circular narrative structure challenged Christian concepts of linear salvation history. Several countries restricted La Jetée for its experimental techniques and political themes. Art house theaters provided limited distribution, while mainstream audiences found the photonovel format too challenging for conventional entertainment expectations. These 10 films proved that 1960s science fiction could tackle serious social and political issues while pushing artistic boundaries. Subscribe for more cinema that was banned for telling uncomfortable truths.